Hey everybody, my name is Tingle, and welcome back to Kooloo-Limpah Tonight. Now, today is a very special episode, as it is our 6th episode, which means that we have been posting episodes for about half a year now. So today I figured I'd go ahead and bring on a group of people that have kind of, well, they're a bit of inspiration for Kooloo-Limpah Tonight. These are the hosts of the Aincrad podcast, so do introduce yourselves.
Johnny?
Oh, I'm gonna introduce myself first. Okay.
Oh God! Start over.
Jesus Christ!
Oh no!
All right then.
We don't have to restart. Just I'm Johnny I'm the host of the Untitled Amino podcast.
Hey guys, it's Mitch here. I'm the lead co-host.
Hi, I am the Twilight Gamer, but you can call me Tonight. It's advertising. Follow me on YouTube. Subscribe to me on YouTube. Please, I'm desperate for subscribers.
And hello, gals. It's Joshua, aka RoadJJ2 over here.
Alright, now we're all here for the lovely interview segment. Now today I figured I'd go and have things switched around a little bit, so they're gonna ask me a few questions about Zelda and mostly about the podcast probably, but
Alright.
and then afterwards I'll go and ask them a few questions about other
I'll
stuff.
I'll go first. So as you said, your inspiration behind the podcast was us. What exactly about us was your inspiration enough to start the podcast yourself?
Well, it's an inspiration because it's new, you know. When I first found you guys, it's something that I haven't seen before in, well, Amino, you know. I've only seen stuff like magazines and stuff, like on Zelda Amino we have Low Roll Magazine, High Roll Times, Kakariko Chronicles, you know, all these different things, which it's a group of people grouped together and they make one long blog. And so when I saw you guys, I'm like, hey, we could have something like that, you know? So I thought, well, we could take an interview, you know, that'd be pretty easy to do. And then we have like a craft time and some bonus thing, you know? So that's kind of how I pieced it together as came into mind.
I like it.
Any others?
Alright, question 2. This is for both of you, more so SAO because of the aspect of Aincrad. What is your guys' rating of SAO?
Oh, you mean like different sections of the show?
Yeah. And first off, your rating out of 10.
Personally, I found the show, like, when I first watched the show, I loved it to death, so it was like a 10, but then as I rewatched it, and I kind of like more took it in, it's more like a 7 now. I'm all like, this is kind of creepy now that I think about it. This is a little weird. But other than those things aside, it's definitely like a 7 for me.
Parts?
Let's see. The first part was the 10.
The
And
Aincrad
then the
arc?
next part was like, that's kind of what cut it down. And I'm not even going to talk about
Fairy Dance. Everyone seems to hate Fairy Dance.
Fairy Dance was so awkward.
And Phantom Bullet in Season 2. Everyone hates Phantom Bullet.
Yeah, Phantom Bolt was just kind of, I mean, I liked that at first, but then it just...
Bullet's my favorite arc.
Okay, and what's your take? What's your rating in part? And do you have a favorite part or no?
I see.
Well, what?
Yeah, I agree on that one, actually. So, yeah, that was an interesting question, though, I gotta say, because not very many people ask me what I think about the show.
Mitch, do you have any more?
Favorite game in the franchise?
That's probably the most commonly asked question, honestly, in the community. Even on here, it's the most commonly asked question. But I'm gonna simply just answer that with like it's hard to pick a favorite game from the Zelda franchise because there's about 15, 16 plus games. About I don't remember.
You can have multiple though, if any of them stand out, which ones really stand out?
Standing out, it's probably because like or the one that really stands up is it probably has to be Skyward Sword. Now that I think about it, like that one really stands out to me.
For me, Twilight Princess when watching my brother play it, and him and I playing Four Swords. With our
Twilight
Game Boy
Princess
connected
definitely. I
to
can
the
agree on that one. I never really played Four Swords though.
Oh yeah, I remember playing Four Swords on like, I think I had it on GameCube. No.
I played a type of Four Swords on on my aunt's DSi. It was like a DSi only. Download it from the App Store, whatever store they had back then, kind of thing. And if you didn't have like 4 people, then it would just be you and someone else.
Nice.
Who here still has a Game Boy?
Me.
I've been trying to get hold of a Game Boy Advance so I play the GBA Pokemon game, not an emulator.
I still have my Game Boy SP from when I was a kid.
Yeah,
Yo,
I've never
Mike.
had a Game Boy before, let alone actually like seen one.
You haven't seen a Game Boy?
Well, I mean, I've seen pictures of them, but I'm like saying like in real life, you know, like actually see one in front of my
You
face.
poor child.
You don't see very much where I live around. I'll tell you that for sure.
Alright, this one's gonna get a bit more difficult. Favorite moment
Favorite moment.
Of what?
in Zelda?
Zelda.
My favorite moment was the franchise as a whole, or just a certain part of the game.
Anything, really.
Anything? Probably the moment I realized that there was more than just Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. That's my favorite moment because, well, I found out I got to enjoy more adventures with Link, but no more Tingle. Rest in
Ganondorf?
peace.
Do you have a favorite moment? Franchise or not?
Mm.
Tingle to Kooloo-Limpah.
Oh, why? Oh, I forgot that. Oh, right, because he's typing. I was like, why is there silence? And then I'm like, oh, you asked him that, and he's typing.
Oh my god.
Tingle, tell me you get this. Silence! I kill you!
Oh my god, Mitchell.
Can I kill him now?
No!
Bad net.
I thought you
Bad
already
net.
did.
I will tug
You're
your
so
ear.
mean to me!
I will tug you.
I kind of get that.
Alright, do you mind if I ask you a question?
Yes.
Good old
Yeah,
Tingle?
Josh, you can ask me a question.
What is your opinion on Breath of the Wild?
Wait, no. Okay, you can say this, but no spoilers, I haven't played it yet.
I'm not gonna say any spoilers. I have played it. I beat it. I almost have all the Korok seeds now. I have about 600 to go. I'm waiting for that DLC to come out. My opinion about it is, it's really game changing for Zelda, but not really for the gaming industry. You know, I've seen all this stuff done before, but Breath of the Wild does do it in its own way, and it's really nice. I like it. It still feels like it was. It feels like it was lacking a bit more. You know, like a bit more attachment to the story, because they put so much work into the world, and it was filled with stuff, that made me really happy. But the main story just kind of lacked a little, and that's really my only problem with it, is that the story lacked. And to be honest, I'm hoping that with the DLC when it comes out, that there's gonna be even more story in there.
I'm very story driven.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's side quests to do, which are a lot of fun, but it can be a little hard to stick to the story when you have such a big world, and that's why you should always win.
Ganondorf, your opinion?
I think that's just referred to as getting distracted.
All right, time to do the main story. Ooh, look, a boss.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
actually,
pretty much.
there's actually an animation like that. It's called Legend of Link's Distractions.
I know, I've seen that one.
love
Oh
that.
my god. Oh, it's so true though. Like, I think they put too much in there in order to focus on the story at times. I mean, I still play every now and then, but then, I don't know. I just recommend it for those who want to play the game to enjoy it. You know, that's why I do. I play it to enjoy it. I don't play it in order to go ahead and have a big old challenge, because after a while it becomes really easy. I'll tell you that for certain. It becomes really easy. And the story is not that attached to the world, so it's hard to always like on with it. But aside from that, go for it. Just go for it.
I mean, I've only seen up to when you get the paraglider, so I don't really have much
My
area to
favorite
talk about
item
it.
was those magnetic boots and those twin grappling hook things you had on your hands in Twilight Princess.
Oh, the hook shots. Those are really fun to use.
The twin hook shots. I don't know, I didn't really like them that much.
That's actually, for me, like on the badass moment question. And in my opinion, that's one of the most badass things when I saw my brother using the dots. Alright, saddest moment.
Saddest moment?
To me, from what Midna described, I have to say when Midna broke the mirror.
That was a really sad moment, but to be honest, it didn't break me as much as a certain moment like Skyward Sword. Warning, spoilers, warning.
It's fine. I've seen a Let's Play of Skyward Sword, and I don't really care for playing it.
Oh, seriously? Oh, that's sad. It was really good. You should try it.
It's just the whole motion control thing. 'Cause I had real trouble with that within aiming like arrows and stuff in Twilight Princess.
Oh, I didn't have that much. I feel like they did better in it in Skyward Sword, but
Yeah, that's because the whole game. That's because Skyward Sword is based around the whole motion control idea. With Twilight Princess, they released one on the. They released Twilight Princess on the GameCube and then remade it for the Wii. So they just added the motion controls in for the Wii
yeah, it was.
One of my favorite
and then flipped the entire game.
One of my favorite non-franchise games with Link was Link's crossbow training. When the Zapper came out for the Wii, oh my god, that was way too much fun.
I have Link's crossbow training, but I've never.
You need to try that. It was so it can get very addicting.
Well, my Wii's in the
That
attic, and I
game,
can't be bothered to
like,
get the
$3.
sensor for the Wii U sorted out so I can play it.
That's true. But yeah, I gotta say my saddest moment was probably when Zelda steals herself away in Skyward Sword. Mostly because of how the moment was set, you know, like it was Link and Zelda have finally reunited, you know, they're there, and then it only ends with Zelda stealing herself away, so it's heartbreaking in a way that Link went through all of that just to go ahead and work even harder to save her, and also he has to do more stuff to see her, so it's just kind of like, you don't get a break, do you, man? You don't get a break.
It's like Mario, he never gets a break either.
No, he doesn't. I feel bad for Mario. He must be depressed.
Someone actually made an article of what it's like to live on World 1, Floor 1.
Yep.
That sounds amazing. Alright, next question.
Most difficult boss.
Oh,
When
I
it
can name a
comes to
couple.
bosses...
I can name a couple on Zelda the Wind Waker.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
oh. Like, oh, Wind Waker. Oh.
Wind Waker equals cringe.
Oh, I got so close to completing Wind Waker before. And then my stepdad essentially erased my save data. Like, I just had to defeat Ganondorf and then I'll be done.
Oh my god.
And then
Really?
suddenly my save data's...
Your save data went missing,
Yeah.
really?
No, my stepdad took the D card out, which had my save data on it.
Oh my god, are you
I
serious?
hate that. But seriously though, hardest boss. That's hard. Like, Wind Waker, yeah, it's hard, but I'm gonna have to give like my hardest boss all the way down to all the bosses in the original game.
Oh man, that's something.
It's hard, dude. Like, oh my god. And the temples are hard too. Everything is hard in that game. I can't beat it.
I hate the water
What game
temple.
is it?
The
The original one. The very first one.
Water temple is my...
Oh, The Legend of Zelda. I haven't actually played that.
Really?
No.
Give it a shot.
I was
So
born.
good, so
I was
good.
born at the beginning of the Nintendo DS, like at the end of the Game Boy life cycle, beginning of the Nintendo DS cycle. My first experience with The Legend of Zelda was watching my stepdad play Twilight Princess for the Wii.
My first experience was watching my dad play on the GameCube because that's when I was kind of around, you know. And oh my gosh, it was the greatest thing ever. And then when I come back to beat like Twilight Princess and Wind Waker, because those are the games I grew up with, it was just like, beautiful.
I actually hated Legend of Zelda when I played it because, and this is like a really, really stupid reason to hate something, because you couldn't play as a female. When I was a kid, I hated games where they forced you to play as a male character.
Oh my god.
Triggered.
Trigger!
Okay, okay, I know I wasn't technically asked this question, but I hear the Shadow Link from the second Zelda game is a biatch.
I hear that too, and I really want to find and see if that is the case, because that sounds like a lot of fun.
Oh, I was at a local Comic-Con a while back, and I found a Shadow Link Master Sword and Shield.
Nice. But yes, next question.
Alright, I covered my answer for it already, but most badass moment.
Oof.
I'm gonna have a freebie for you after this.
Oh my
That's
god, how many
that's a
questions
tough
do you
question.
have?
There's so many moments.
I had 7.
They're
but I
just so
had
good.
bonus.
Let me think.
Ganondorf, do you have an idea for most badass moment in the games? The end scene for Wind Waker?
That was really, really good. I will admit that. But
The last cutscene I've seen for Wind Waker was when the King of Hyrule floods Hyrule.
that was really. Personally, though, I'm like mixed in between the final battle with Demise, believe it or not, even to this day, and the final battle in Breath of the Wild. Oh my god! Both are so much fun to do, and I feel so cool doing it.
I liked when my brother used the final attack in Twilight Princess and jammed the sword right into Ganondorf's stomach.
Oh, that was also pretty satisfying to do.
Yeah, like, kiss it.
Like, seriously though, he made an awesome villain become really stupid.
Yeah.
Number Zam, by the way.
Oh, freebie. Do you have a particular song that you always would like to listen to the rest of your life?
Oof.
For me,
No, it isn't like an official canon song,
canon. For
but
me,
oh, it has to be canon.
like if you want it to be canon, but for me, it's always
Letting the twist down.
It's always stuff like I prefer like stuff that fans of the franchise make. You know, like they remake some of the
Ooh,
songs.
I like those too. I like it when they put it on electric guitar.
Mitch,
Oh, it's so much fun.
Mitch, yours is the Lost Forest theme, commonly
Yeah,
known
it
as
is.
Zaria's song.
Mhm. Oh my gosh, dude! Yes, and that's the best.
Midna's Lamont would be mine. It's not my favorite Zelda song, but it would be one that I'd like to hear.
Like personally, my favorite is Clifford Notes' remaster of Final Hours from Majora's Mask. Oh my god, so beautiful.
My time for questions is up. Who's next? Midnight? Yeah, I think Midnight. Yeah, Midnight. We'll leave Johnny to cover final ground.
Okay, what is your favorite Zelda character?
Do you want me to explain why, or just say the name?
You can say why if you want.
It's Tingle, if you couldn't tell at all. Like, it's at.
Yeah,
I don't know why people don't take me seriously.
seriously.
Some people don't take me seriously. I mean it. My favorite character is Tingle, and people don't get that. I'm like, why don't you understand that?
Tingle!
It's mostly because like I relate to him though. Like
Wait, what's his catchphrase?
his
Tingle.
catchphrase.
Tingle,
Tingle,
Kooloo-Limpah. They're not really. It's not really a catchphrase. They're more like words than a.
Yes, do not steal our magic words.
Well,
No.
you've named your podcast now.
Alright, let's carry on. So, next question?
Wait, Ganondorf.
Oh, that's right, he did.
Ganondorf, favorite character, and you don't have to say why, but you.
Ooh, 2 guesses. Alright, here we go.
Ganondorf.
No, it can't be Ganondorf. It's gotta be something like, it's got, like that one guy in the shop, you know? That one guy? What's his name? I can't remember his name, but he kept going like, ha, when you don't buy stuff. It's like, hee, not Beetle, but someone else.
Oh, I.
Are you sure? Because. Are you sure it's not?
It's not Beetle. It's someone from Skyward Sword. He was in the bazaar. I forgot his name.
Yeah, no.
But-
I don't know his name.
Link. Call me
I
cliche,
forgot.
but the adult. Call me cliche, but the Twilight Princess Link.
Come on,
Probably.
TP Link is
The
hot.
wolf. With the wolf.
No.
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild Link is hotter. By far the hottest.
We had a joke in the event team chat about Breath of the Wild Link. When it was shown that he could be naked but he had no nipples, we had a joke with, going along with it with Leash. It was like a running gag in the event way back when.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's glorious.
Alright. So. Yeah! Him! Reuben! Yes! Reuben!
I was gonna hate myself.
I also like the guy who's like, you can't. It's too dangerous to go alone. Take this.
Oh my.
The old man?
Yeah, the old man in the cave.
And the freaking Zelda rap. Oh my god.
Oh.
Oh my god, I know what you're talking about.
Both of them like, off, old man.
Oh, I did a review of it on Zelda Amino, and it was so hard to do without actually mentioning lyrics. They're so explicit.
They are very explicit. What was the question again?
Yeah, exactly.
There wasn't one.
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't.
Yeah, next question.
Okay, Tingle. Out of all like the Zelda songs that you have to like, not like actual songs, but like songs you play in game in order to accomplish something. Like for example, the Song of Time.
Essentially just so the Ocarina songs in Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, and I'm sure play
the
Blue.
Wind Waker songs.
Oh, there's a link to a link to the past. No, it's Link's Awakening. Link's Awakening. You play music as well. So you have to play. You have to play the song of the wind, the ballad of the windfish to wake the windfish.
I know what you guys are talking about now. So the songs we play with the instruments that we receive in most of the games.
Yes.
Okay. My favorite one of those? Or my least favorite?
A favorite.
Oof.
I know. I asked the good questions here.
Hey!
You do. That is actually a really good question, though. Not gonna lie.
I'm not gonna lie either, that was good, but still, hey.
It's good,
hey.
What's going on?
Oh my god. Oh my god. We got
Kill me.
family.
Ow!
No, okay, but so I definitely have to say it's either the Song of the Hero from Skyward Sword or Ballad of the Goddess. I'm being very biased, or I'm very I'm very leaning towards Skyward Sword for all my questions right now because it's probably it is the first game I played and beat. So
I am hurt and dying.
Are you okay?
rest in peace.
Rest in pepperonis.
I dropped my Majora's Mask paperweight on my wrist.
Oh!
It's not that heavy for a paperweight, but corner hit my wrist.
Ow. Okay, ow.
Rest in spaghetti and never forgetty. Yeah. But yeah, it definitely has to go ahead and go to either Battle of the Gods or the hero, or the Song of the Hero. What about you? Then what's yours?
I actually learned how to play Ballad.
Oh, seriously?
She
Yeah.
does have an ocarina and a recorder.
Yeah, but I can't really play the opera. Too lazy to learn.
Yeah, same
There is
here.
my record.
Oh god, no!
Good night.
That's somewhere.
That is true. You can never go wrong with Lost Woods. You can never
Yeah,
go
I tried to learn how to play Lost Woods on my recorder for Lee. Just the tempo's just so fast. It would take so long to actually learn.
I don't really have one because I haven't played the really. So, next question, Midnight.
Oh, have you ever bought any DLC for a Zelda game? Or what DLC would you want for a future Zelda game?
That's hard to say, because, like, there's a lot of things in the Zelda universe that you can make a good DLC out of. Like, you could go ahead and have a DLC based on, if you've played A Link Between Worlds, Ravio's perspective on everything, you know? Or you can go ahead and play as, Midnight in Twilight Realm after the Twilight Mirror shatters, you know? And see what that's like. You could do a lot of things for a DLC. But yeah, what about you, Ann? What kind of DLC would you like?
Did we already ask him what his favorite Zelda game was?
Yes.
What was
Oh,
it?
I got it. I got this question.
Alright, ask it.
What is your favorite means of transportation in any of the Zelda games?
Epona.
Oh.
I'm talking Epona. I'm talking the Loftwing things. I'm talking like
Anything.
anything. I'm talking even the stupid trains from Spirit Tracks. I never finished Spirit Tracks.
I never played Spirit Tracks.
And I think there's a reason it's the weakest one.
Oh. Oh.
And a comedy drum to that one.
No, but I'm gonna say for myself. I don't know. Like, there's a lot of good ones out there, to be honest with you, and it'd probably have to be the ones with Breath of the Wild, because you can't take your horse with you, and it's a bit ridiculous. Because when it comes to Breath of the Wild, you can transport between shrines, you know, kind of like how Skyrim worked, but you can only do it with shrines, so it's kind of a bit more clumped together, I guess. But so basically, what happens is that you can ride your horse around, but you can't really transport with them. At least they won't follow you through the transport.
They don't follow you to fast travel.
Yeah, can fast travel his own body. Can't take his horse with him. It's sad, and I wish I could bring my horse with me. So yeah, any other questions?
That's all the questions I had. Or I will have at the moment, unless a random one pops up into my brain.
Alright.
Mm.
But yeah, just remember, any question is fine.
Like, what was your... I forgot, what was your favorite Zelda game?
Oh, I said like a mix of like Skyward Sword or Breath of the Wild.
Okay. Well, the only Zelda games I have right now is I borrowed this from a friend, but I never give it back to him. It's the Legend of Zelda Oracle of Seasons for.
Oh, my friends really love those
I heard
games.
about that.
Is it any good?
I haven't played it much. I'm like stuck in a dungeon and I have no idea where to go and stuff. And I also have Zelda Ocarina of Time on GameCube, I think.
Oh my
And
god!
it's actually the
same.
special edition where it comes with the the game and then it comes with Master Sword or whatever it is.
Nice. I had that too. I found that sale store, and I'm like, dude, sign me the up.
Yeah. And I had let's just say I had a 3DS with and the only game really being the Zelda Ocarina of Time based remaster, basically. But
Bless you.
I beat the game on the normal, and whenever I went to Master Sword, or whatever it's called, is it called Master Sword?
No, it's called Master Quest.
Oh, Master Quest, yes. Whenever I went to Master Quest, I was literally done once I got to the water temple. I could not bear to go any further because I absolutely hate the water temple. Am I the only one, or I probably aren't?
It's a universal hate.
Yeah.
Really sick.
Serious.
The water temple is my
Your nemesis.
yeah.
Water temple can go drown.
It already is.
That's an oxymoron.
Alright, we're getting pretty close to the end of our segment here, so I might as well go and ask you guys a few questions. Not to be rude or anything.
Nah.
You're fine.
Alright, then we'll go ahead. Then I'll go ahead and ask a few questions myself to you guys.
Okay.
So, oh yeah. So tell me, who founded your podcast?
Me.
Who's the founder?
Me and Johnny. Me and Johnny.
I originally came up with the idea of doing
he
it.
pitched the idea to me. I went in on it as lead, and he pitched it to Midnight back when she was leader star, and when Aincrad was still original. And well, after that, when it got accepted, we had her as our first guest. After that, we took her on. Then we had Josh and another person from Aincrad, Connor. We officially took Josh on after that. We had another person from a different guild, but differences came up and he left. So it's just the four of us now.
Sounds like quite the journey.
Over 30 episodes.
Mhm.
Weekly.
Non-stop insanity.
Weekly.
And we're stuck here with like 6 episodes. And how long have you guys been doing this?
We've been doing it. Each episode is a weekly thing.
Yeah.
So about 30 weeks. Oh. Oh.
Well, actually,
Oh.
29. It would actually be 29 since 1 week. Oh no, actually 28, because we've had like 2 technical difficulties. So we decided, okay, no podcast this week.
Aww.
Rest in pepperoni.
Dang.
Anywho, yeah, I completely get that. Like, one time we didn't have enough time in order to go ahead and like set up an episode, you know, for our due date. So we just went ahead and released a mini episode of some footage we have left over from the previous episode. So that's kind of what we did. Always be prepared for a situation like that. What was the original? Tell me, what was the original concept for the podcast? Well, your guys' podcast, at least.
Oh, the podcast sucks.
Midnight.
Well, you can excuse yourself from the podcast if you think that.
It's fun.
Alright,
It sucks in the terms of being a podcast, but it is really fun.
Well, the concept, I mean, it's a podcast, but I mean, originally, I did the podcast. I wanted to do the podcast. Same reason as you. I wanted to do something for the community. Not that I wasn't really like posting. I was posting and stuff and things like that, like interesting stuff about Sword Art Online. But I just wanted to like do more with the community and also help it grow. That's why I like doing it on YouTube and stuff. I'm pretty sure we have some subscribers that aren't with Aincrad Amino, and maybe let's just assume that people have joined because they watched the podcast, just kind of stumbling upon it. But
So my next question is not really much concern of podcasts, but more what you guys think of, well, SAO. Like, as a group, I want to ask you guys as a group, what would you guys think of SAO? Like, a 10, a 7, or a 0?
are we talking
probably
about
not
the
0.
anime?
Yeah,
Solid
the anime
10.
as a whole.
Solid 10. I didn't like
4.
Fairy Dance, but I cut that out of the equation.
We all know
Otherwise,
that
it's a
Sword Art
solid
Online.
10.
They messed up the anime. We know this. They completely messed up.
We are fully aware that the
I have-
created Aincrad Amino knowing that the anime's back.
That's okay. This is great.
Yeah.
Alright, I like Jess so much more now.
No, look. Let me tell you how lazy A1 Pictures is. Literally, I have like probably like 4 or 5 memes talking about how lazy they are of like animators. Okay, in the beginning, like the first episode where they get, you know, locked in and stuff like that, and they're all in that they're all in
The town plaza.
the town plaza. Yeah,
The time
literally in one shot, there's
9.
probably 9 or 10 of the same face. Literally. And I have a meme showing that every single girl character has the same, and Kirito, they all have the same face.
Be
The only
fair,
thing.
every anime character ever has the same face. Just
No,
different,
no.
Just different eyes and different hair. No, listen to me. There are tons of memes online that takes different characters from different anime, removes their eyes, removes their hair, and they've all got the same face.
Well, no, I could actually counter with that. There's actually animators that actually do take the time and
I can contradict that with the anime Dragon Ball Z.
Drifters.
If that too, but if anyone's ever watched Dragon Ball, look at Goku and Vegeta apart. They are way too different in face.
yeah, there's
I don't know.
just A1 Pictures is one of the most laziest.
Yeah, like, I'm pretty sure that if it wasn't A1 Pictures, I think it would have been better.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
way
Well,
better.
to be fair, A1 Pictures isn't. Well, they're not entirely.
Garbage.
I don't know what to say that when it comes to anime, because they animated Fairy Tail, and Fairy Tail is really good. Fairy Tail is like the longest anime that I've. And the only animes I've seen from them are Fairy Tail, Sword Art Online, Your Lie in April, and Seven Deadly. But
Worships.
Sword Art Online, Your Lie in April, and Seven Deadly Sins are short animes. Fairy Tail has 8 seasons and at least 40 episodes in each. It has all of the detail that the manga has, it has all of the intricacy that the manga has. It is essentially the exact same as the manga, and they've done a good job of Fairy Tail. I don't know why they didn't do the same with Sword Art Online.
I think what they were thinking there. Here is the representation of what happened. So they want us to animate Sword Art Online. Okay, let's do it. Do you think it'll last long? Nah. You want to go short on this? Yeah. You want to make it scrappy? Yeah.
Oh my god.
We shouldn't even be talking about it. We should just drop the project. No. Let's take a shot and see what happens. I like this.
Then Ordinal Scale comes around.
Fairy
To be
Tail.
fair, Ordinal Scale.
Want to do Fairy Tail? Let's do this, boys! We're on this!
Oh, Tingle.
Get it. Let's go.
Tingle.
Yeah.
Have you watched the abridged?
Oh my god. The abridged was better than the original show.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, everyone thinks that. There is a video on why the abridged for Sword Art Online is the best abridged ever, and it all boils down to the abridged being better than the host material. It's like a 10-minute video, maybe more than that, essentially explaining that Sword Art Online is better than the host material.
Seriously, wow.
That's amazing.
People say that the abridged is better than the actual, is what the anime should have been.
Yeah.
No, I don't believe that.
There are people who have said that.
I don't think it's what the anime should have been, but it's definitely better than the anime.
I can agree.
Because
on that one.
if you read the novels, it's really good.
Alright, I'll give the novels a shot then.
Yeah.
Yeah, the manga and the visual novels, they're really good.
The
stuff that Reki Kawahara himself has made is really good. The stuff that A1 Pictures has terrible.
Oh, tell him why he had to make them into separate novels. Didn't he try to do it all in one shot, just like J.K. Rowling?
No, J.K. Rowling didn't try to do it all in one shot. J.K. Rowling's book was too big, and it was too long, and it was refused to publish. It wasn't that she tried to do it all in one shot, it's just that the book was too...
So then explain the whole thing with Reki then.
I don't know, Johnny was the one who brought that up. Me.
Johnny, didn't Reki get rejected or something? What happened?
I'm pretty sure, like, he, they limited him to 200 pages, but because, like, you know, and stuff like that, because he was trying to, like, do, like, I think maybe around like 400 or 500 page book and stuff like that, and that's basically like 3.5 book, or no, yeah, 3.5 novels right now.
No, that is one novel.
That is
all the
one
novels
novel.
that I have are at least 500 pages.
Well,
That's one novel.
the Sword Art Online novels right now, the first book is 200, and then all the rest of them are basically toned down to like 100 something.
Interesting.
And then read the progressives as well, because it's from Asuna's perspective, and it covers plot holes in both the anime and what the books leave.
Yeah.
And then the manga as well.
Alright. So, with that, I have one last question to ask you guys before we go ahead and wrap up this little segment right here. Although it's more like we've been recording for about an hour now. But,
Wow.
Oh my god.
I know, right?
The episode 18 went for an hour.
Almost, really? Wow.
Yeah.
I
An hour 22.
That's true. We actually go over an hour usually for an episode, so this is...
Alright, so let's get this on a wrap.
Yeah. Alright, so
Rat sauce.
basically, what goes down here is, you know, what goes down in podcasts, you know, it's more what you make of it. And I want to know from you guys, from your own personal experiences, what has it been to you to be part of a podcast?
It's brought me closer to Aincrad and to people in general. It's just it brought me to such close friends like Midnight, Josh, Johnny. It's meant a lot over the past 30 weeks.
Yeah, I'm probably just going to be a really terrible person about it. It's given me something to do other than lead a dying Amino.
Those are some pretty good answers, though, right there.
Josh.
Oh, frick, I have to answer?
Yes,
Yeah.
you do. Everybody's mandatory answer.
I love doing video stuff, so like the podcast has been like an amazing way for me to be like constantly doing something like on YouTube, and it helps support my Amino as well. So I cannot ask for like it to be doing anything else at the current moment in time.
Back when we were on Skype, the hilarity
Podcast.
was
It's just an amazing way to show the world and my fellow Amino mates just the kind of insane person that I tend to be.
our darker sides.
I feel bad, but not really.
What about you, Johnny?
Just I don't like
Josh?
just like how I originally wanted to do it. I really wanted to just like try it because I've had my experiences with YouTube, like in the past with doing YouTube videos with my friends, like gaming videos and stuff. And I just wanted to kind of try doing a podcast because I just wanted, just to try it and stuff like that. And it's worked out pretty well. We can be better. I do plan on making a SoundCloud for the podcast for reasons. Doing an iTunes account, I don't.
Yeah, iTunes I don't really agree with. SoundCloud I perfectly agree with all the way. Like I want to do that too, but there's certain things where it's kind of we kind of need YouTube, and we can't really do SoundCloud, so that's a bit of a problem. But yeah, and I can definitely say the same thing for all these answers.
When it comes to when we were back on Skype, oh my lord, the hilarity was real with the video, with the webcams. The hilarity was real.
I can tell. I haven't watched any episodes since I think 17.
Webcams started after 10.
Yeah, I did see a bit of it because I have been watching kind of like off and off, and I think the last time I watched an episode was 17 because I've been so much.
Watch 18 and you will die laughing.
We'll do.
She made a deck inspired by the community.
I did. I still didn't kill me.
That day.
It was. Should we use the UK edition, Aincrad deck, SAO, and one deck name that I will not say because of one of the words in it.
Oh,
yeah, I get what you're saying entirely. But yeah, so with that, I guess I'll go ahead and call this segment an end. So thank you so much, Team Aincrad Amino Podcast, for joining us today for our very special episode.
Not a problem at all. I'd be glad to join again if you
The
ask.
pleasure has been ours.
Yeah, and we'd love to have you back on again. You guys are a pretty fun bunch and pretty lively too, so it doesn't hurt too much to have you on.
Woo. Holy shit.
I would like to be on with some of the members.
It's 12:11.
The other members. Well,
What the heck?
I don't know if we'll ever hear from the other members, really, but hopefully one day we will.
And if you do, I'd like to be on with some of them.
We'll do.
Because I am on DA.
True. So, thanks everybody for coming on to the show, checking out the segment we have. Lovely little interview. I'll go ahead and see you guys around a few seconds, I'm pretty sure. Yep, a few seconds. I will see you in the next segment. It's a special segment because this is obviously a pretty special episode since we have such a big group of people. So thank you all for joining us for this interview, and I'll see you in the next segment.
Alright, bye guys!
Bye.
And we will see you in the next segment.
Good old.
Bye-bye.
Hello everybody, my name is Tingle Payne, and welcome to our segment where, we're mostly just going to be talking about how far we've come. Not just as, a group of a podcast, but, just a team in general. It's me, like always, but I will be talking about kind of the history of Kooloo-Limpah Tonight, how it got so far. Well, I wouldn't say far. We've only come about 6 months, so about half a year, but that just blows my mind. And knowing that I can do something like that means I can do a lot more things. And one of that means that I'm gonna strive to go for that year with the rest of the team. Hopefully it will all go well, and hopefully we won't have any more bumps, because we had a lot of bumps in the beginning, as I'm going to talk about how this all began here. Not just like starting from the first episode, but back to when the first idea was made, you know, like the first concept was created, like before even the team was made. That was quite a long time ago, believe it or not. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start our look back through time. So we're gonna go ahead and start off with more my wanting to go ahead and be a part of something, and that more started last year in summer, about now actually, you know, mid-July, something like that. I joined my friend Lady Hyrule's group called the Sages of Amino, I'm pretty sure they were called. Yeah, Sages of Amino. It was a pretty fun thing to be a part of. I was like an inspirational guy, you know. We only released one scroll, but it was so much fun to do, and I really wanted to do it again, but we kind of stopped. It was just dead right after that because we couldn't take it. And so I was all like, well, I still want to do something, so I'm gonna try and make my own thing, you know. And at first I was all like, I don't really want to do a magazine because that's really mainstream, I guess, you know, like it's already there, you know. We already had Low Rule magazine and Herald Times, and I think we had Cracker Chronicles back then, but I don't remember. And so I just kind of brainstormed until about sometime in November, you know, it just kind of popped in my head, like, what about a podcast? And one of my inspirations was this from the Aincrad podcast, which you just saw earlier, you know, we talked with them. Just kind of how they did theirs was interesting for me. I was all like, they're pretty, you know, like free range, you know. Not as it's something I want to do though. I want to be more organized, a bit more, like I put more thought into it, put more feeling into it. And when it comes to that, it's, well, you gotta think hard about it. And so what I did is that on November 29th last year, I went ahead and made a blog talking about Amino talk shows, you know, just the idea of it on Amino. And so I go ahead and, you know, like talk through about what it would be like, what we would do, you know, something like that. And it was interesting, you know, and I really liked the idea myself, and a lot of other people did too. Like, I got a bunch of comments on it, I got a bunch of likes on the blog. So on the next day, you know, the day after, November, oh my bad, the blog was made on the 25th, and on the 27th, 2 days after, I made a poll asking if I should make it a reality or if I should just leave it be. And some people answered that they don't really care about it, but the rest, they went all for it. They were all like, yes, you should make this a thing. And, you know, I did it. And so a few days later, you know, I don't forget how many days, but about December, you know, December 4th or so, I went ahead and made a question blog asking like who wanted to join the podcast team in order to go ahead and start production on the first episode. Because originally, if you did not know this, we were supposed to release the first episode about January 15th last I checked. And obviously we didn't make that goal, you know, and I'm perfectly fine with that, because with where we were at that time was kind of weird. So, you know, I'm all like, okay, this will be fun. So I go ahead and go through a few people, you know, interviews and stuff like that, and it wasn't exactly what I hoped for, you know, like the people that had applied did not seem quite exactly certified for the job. Personally, I was questioning a little bit myself whether I actually wanted these people on the team. And so I went to my friends, I'm like, guys, can you go ahead and help me, like, go ahead and do this, like, help me make this thing a reality, help me look for some people. But instead, I actually ended up finding those people right there and then. Basically what ended up happening is my friend Ganondorf, also known as N, became the recorder, editor, and poster of the videos. He posts everything on YouTube, he edits everything, he records everything. Like, seriously though, you might hear it a lot from me, but I really mean it this time. Without him, we would not have a show. And he's also kind of a bit of the backbone of the show at times, and I really thank him for that. Basically, everybody is at times, and it's really important for all of us to be here. And then my friend Min of the Twilight Realm used to be a creator, then wasn't a creator, and I was just kind of floating about. she became our artist, and she made the wonderful backgrounds that you see in our episodes, you know, the wonderful little characters for each and every person that we interview and every guest we have, just in general, you know, and I really thank her for that. And my friend Brian the Big Kid, well, he made the logo of our establishment, you know, and I don't think it'd look just right without it being like that. I thought it would look really nice, and it's kind of what I wanted, you know. I wanted something looking like that, and I think it represents a lot in the end. Time went on, you know, and so we picked up another person here and another person there, and we were all like, okay, let's go ahead and make the first episode. And when it came to it, we ended up having to choose, you know, our very first interviewee, and the first person we chose, believe it or not, was the leader, Princess Zelda. But it got a little complicated after she had told us that she didn't want to use her voice at all, and I was understanding it. I'm like, okay, that's fair. And so what we ended up doing instead is we went ahead and basically had the interview on Amino, and we're going to have one of our friends go ahead and voice for her during that segment. You know, we read our questions aloud, our answers to that and stuff. I don't know, it just didn't work well in the end, you know, we didn't go with it. And as well with a lot of things we had planned for the first episode of Kooloo-Limpah Tonight. Like, we had also planned for, we also went ahead and planned out for like a whole segment where we were gonna just kind of sit back and relax, and all of us were gonna be on there, you know, Minna, Brian, and Ganondorf, you know, we were all gonna be on there, including Golden / BoriquaRM, you know, she was gonna be on there too. Originally her segment was gonna be, you know, dad jokes, but later on throughout time, you see where that goes. But yeah, we were all just gonna sit there and kind of just talk, you know, about, well, you know, how it's been to go ahead and be a part of the podcast, not just as a member, but as a team, you know, what it's like to be together. It's not just something that I enjoy because you guys enjoy it, you know. I like it because it brings people closer together, I guess you could say. Like, it brought me and my friends closer together because we were working together as a team, and that's something I love to see. Especially when it comes to friends that I saw becoming more distant to me. And when we became closer together again, well, it just made me think that I didn't want this to end. And it's still there, you know, I don't want this to end at all, and hopefully it stays that way, you know, hopefully it stays where we're at. We don't go ahead and, we have our stars every now and then, you know, like everybody does for everything, and that's okay. So we just have to go ahead and live with the stars every now and then. But yeah, so we were playing on our first episode, you know, and in the end we were just all like, okay, this is not gonna work. And by around the 15th, I think that was then that we decided to go ahead and, push back the episode date. I think we actually pushed it back to the 27th in order to get more recordings done. But then we never actually recorded, which is the funny thing. Well, I mean, we tried to, but it just didn't work out. Then later on, we were like, okay, scrap this idea. So we completely scrapped the original first episode's idea and created a new one. We ended up having Keith Time 15 with us, and Hylia Knight, and recording that first episode was fun, you know, like I really enjoyed it, and there was actually a lot of things that I had missed as well. One of them being that, well, we were gonna have an art segment originally, if nobody knew. I mean, we did announce that we were having an art segment, and it was supposed to be this fun little segment, you know, and it was gonna be enjoyable for everybody. And we just never really did it because, well, it's more our fault because we never really got the art in order to go ahead and do it, because we always theme our episodes a certain thing, if you can't tell. And so we just kind of had to work with it. I don't know, I kind of wish it worked. I wanted it to work, and maybe we'll bring it back on a later episode date. I don't know, we'll just see how well this episode does, and if it does well, then maybe we will. But what I want to know, though, is why exactly did I go ahead and choose to do the episode like that, you know, because then that kind of formed something. It formed a formula, kind of like how the Zelda formula worked, you know, like when you first make something, you know, it's completely different from the beginning, and then as time goes on, it changes up entirely. And so that's kind of what happened, you know. I basically went ahead and made this concept for the first episode. It got scrapped, and we made a new one. And now it's just kind of our formula, you know. We always have an interview, and we always either have, well, you know, we always have a crap time with Key, you know. He's always on the show, unless he can't be on the show. That's the only time we don't have him on the show. Key, if you're listening to this, hopefully you are right now, then I'd like to go ahead and tell you thank you so much for being on the show. It really means a lot to me, and to be honest, you are indefinitely a permanent member of the show. I don't know, it's just been so interesting to be where we are now. And so, you know, we make the first episode. Well, it just kind of became interesting, I guess you could say. It was different. It was new. Because I had started something. I created something that people were willing to watch and listen to, and they enjoyed it. I didn't quite get it because I hadn't really done anything like that before, you know? Like, I've never made something that people really enjoy, and when people said that they loved the podcast, I was like, alright, I'm gonna stick with this, you know, this is what I want to do. And so that's kind of what I've been doing for the past 6 months, you know, working with the team, doing the podcast, and even with school, it's one of the things I always kept in my mind. Like, seriously though, the 5 things I keep on my mind, kept on my mind, you know, way back when I was in school, is it kind of went like this. Like, I thought about my relationships, you know, that was the most important thing to me. But the second thing was my podcast. Then there was my sports, and then there's video games, and then there's writing. It's changed ever since then, you know, but those first 2 they've stayed in their places, you know. The podcast is just as strong a feeling as I do with my relationships, but I put my relationships ahead because it makes me feel, I don't know, like, relationships make me feel more human, I guess. But point is, though, after we released the first episode, I decided with the team, of course, that we would keep making episodes. And so episode 2 comes along, you know, and what do we theme it? Well, we theme it Breath of the Wild because, you know, Breath of the Wild had come out. And lucky for us, we had ended up getting Leash as an interviewee, and that was amazing. Like, oh my gosh. Back then, and still now, you know, like, ever since I joined Amino, I've looked up to the leaders as something that I want to strive to be. You know, I want to become a leader like they are, because they do so much for the community, just like the other creators and stuff. And personally, I really appreciate it. As a regular member, as just a regular person who blogs on there. And, you know, it just amazes me how much they get done. But yeah, I get Leash on there, and that was amazing. I had Key of Time on there, which was wonderful. And we had Brian's challenge for episode 2. And then we were going to bring it back in for episode 4, but things happened. Episode 4, we'll get there, but for now we're talking about episode 2. Episode 2 was a lot more fun because, well, for starters, like, Leash is completely different from Hylian, and that's what I really enjoy. And what I also really enjoyed was how Key's item was the Sheikah Slate, even though we didn't really know very much about the Sheikah Slate. And, well, I don't know, I just thought it was really funny. And then, I don't know, like, episode 2 really made me think about the podcast. You know, I was like, okay, if I keep doing this, then this will be really interesting. But episode 3 rolls in, you know, and episode 3 is just as fun, you know, because that was the first episode we had the free talk. And the free talk, I felt, was one of the greater segments we had on this show so far, you know. And I think it's fun doing a free talk with people, you know. And Pixel was definitely a great start because she's different from everybody else. And again, she was a leader, so I was like, oh my god, it's Pixel. And Pixel, she's here to go and tell us a bit about how her experience was on the show.
Yeah, I thought this podcast was very creative. When I first came on the show, I was really nervous actually because talking isn't my strong suit, but this podcast is actually really fun and I enjoyed it a lot. The talks were, even when they weren't about Zelda, very interesting. I thought this was very creative and something that the people, our users, would love to see.
But yeah, we had the free talk, and oh my gosh, it was so much fun. And then after that, we had, the key segment. But let's see. Then came along episode 4, which was, well, it wasn't what we hoped for. Episode 4 was interesting because that was when we had more or less decided to go ahead and get more members. We were all like, okay, let's go ahead and have more people. So we had decided to go ahead and grab an animator, a musician, and a co-host. Now, some of you don't realize that we went for animator if you don't know our history very well, because we did post blogs about a bunch of this stuff. But for those who didn't know, we were actually going for an animator at one point. But when that came around, the people didn't really know how to animate. And it was frustrating, and I was really mad, and argh! And so we never got the animator, and it was really simple animation and stuff, which is a sad thing. But, it's whatever, it happened. And so I really went ahead and interviewed 2 people then. Yes, we interviewed 2 people for musician. It was Two-Face DK, our current musician, and I think the other one's name was Scamp. Scamp was the other person. They were both really great, but then when Scamp said that they couldn't, then I was like, okay, we're gonna go for Two-Face. And Two-Face is a lovely addition to the team. I would definitely say that. They get their part of the job done right on time, and that's what makes me really happy. But they're also a fun person to be around with too, and seeing a new face on the team is fantastic.
Thanks, Tingle. Well, to start things off, this has so far been an amazing experience for me. Working with you guys has been a lot of fun, and also I feel like with every new episode and every new track that I make for you guys, I'm learning new things, and I think it's just great. To give a short summary of it, usually since I'm a musician, obviously I'm not being recorded as much as you other guys, or at all, in fact, but it's still great to just feel that you're a part of this entire thing, because with all of the meetings and all the things that are not directly in the episode, but all the things that happen behind the scenes, I'm a part of that, and I love partaking in that. Definitely
Episode 4 did not go well at all, because we had no content on there whatsoever. It was just the interview, the introduction to our newer members, and that was it. But, however, episode 4 was one of my favorites because I got to go ahead and interview Hailey and Bagel, and she is a very, very old Amino friend of mine. Well, I wouldn't say very old, but good friend of mine. Way back when I first joined Amino, it was... it felt so good talking with her again, and I miss those days talking with her. One day I will, but I don't know, episode 4 was a bad episode for content, but for me it was pretty good. Well, socially. Now we go on to episode 5, the most recent episode, and as you can tell, we were getting a little tired of guest starring careers and stuff, but for interview, we ended up having ASL, which was fairly fun, and I kind of wish that I'd asked a few other questions, but that's how I always feel about interviews, I always want to ask more, and then I never get to, and I don't know, it just drives me a little nuts, you know, it just drives me crazy. But in the end, though, I'm glad that we did ASL, even though that they're a creator, and that's kind of keeping us in a lock. That is until the free talk then, and the free talk was pretty good, you know, like always. We had Golden / BoriquaRM, me, myself, and then we had the Minish Gamer, aka Gabe. It was great to have them on the show, and I thought it was funny how in the comments they were all like, "Oh God, I sound so much cringe. Please stop." I'm all like, "No, you're good, man. You're good." Because when you start, you always sound like a bunch of cringe, and later on in time, well, you might still sound like a bunch of cringe, but you know, you sound better than before. And that's kind of how I am too. You know, like it takes time in order to get better. It takes practice to get better. And that's why I put it into this. I put in practice, patience, and I make sure I'm prepared to do what I'm gonna do. I mean, I don't always write a script, you know. Sometimes I just go and wing it. That's how I do most of my questions, believe it or not. I just think hard about not just what the community wants to know, but what I want to know personally. Because as a member of the community, I kind of have an idea of what we all want to know from that person. And most when we leave creators, it's gonna be completely different. You know, I'm gonna ask these different questions because they're just gonna be regular, ordinary members like you and me. And then I don't know, like there's just so much to talk about from episode 5 in the end. Like it was changing, well, mainly because of, you know, the whole leaving a creator thing. You know, like we're not creators, leaders, or event team members. It's the Minish Gamer, and that was a big move for us, really, in the end. And I'm glad we made it. And, you know, we did fairly well in views, you know. We're just a bit worried about that, personally. But as long as we can keep it together, then we're going to keep going. And now we've kind of brought ourselves all the way back to, well, here, episode 6. And, personally, I see episode 6 as a very, very special episode, because it means that we've been doing this for half a year. Well, technically we've been doing this for more than half a year. About 8 months or so if you count in December when we started working on this. So, you know, we've been working about 8 months in order to get to here. And here in general is just an amazing spot for me. I just never expected to get this far. And I never expected to have such great guests, just like the Amino, the Aincrad Amino podcast members, and I do take them as inspiration, and I thank them a lot for coming onto the show. Definitely check them out. We'll have a link to their YouTube channel in the description below, so check them out. But yeah, it was fun to interview them because it was mostly that I was being interviewed by them. And having them all on there was fun because, I don't know, like, I never really get to be on a group of, like, be on the show with a group of people like that, and it made it more entertaining, I guess, you know? I guess a lot of people want more entertainment, because these are a little boring, so I will do my best to make them more entertaining, but, yeah, and so I was thinking to myself, I'm like, what else can I do to make this episode, you know, episode 6, even more special than it already is? And one of them being this, you know, me talking about the history of Kooloo-Limpah Tonight, and that's kind of where we are now. But we also have like a very special surprise at the very end of this. It's not gonna be revealed until then, you know. I'm not gonna say it now, so you have to wait till the very end of this segment, all the way to the end. You have to go ahead and watch or listen, and I hope you really like it. You know, if you're a fan, you might enjoy it, and if you're a new fan, it might bring you a bit closer. I don't know, and hopefully, I just hope you guys really like it. You know, hopefully you will. Now there is some other stuff that happened, you know, and that's that there was like times where we would fall apart, and I was afraid we might have to shut down. We came back together, you know, and that's what it is that we keep coming back together. And I think that's the thing with the magazines as well, you know. I think they fall, like, I I've never been in like a magazine group chat, so I don't know what goes on in those, but I do know for certain that, well, that things don't always go as smoothly planned. Sometimes there's one person who goes ahead and messes up on a certain segment, or there's one person that messes up with just everything in general, you know, like communication and stuff like that. And that happens, you know, and when it does happen, it gets really annoying at times, and I don't know, like, I feel like they mess up too, you know, and that they kind of fall apart at times, but they just get back up, right back up, get back together, and go ahead and get working on that next issue that they put out, you know, and they do an amazing job on what they put out there, you know, that content. It's content that I basically took inspiration from, you know, like, I see them as, well, they definitely inspired me to do this, you know, like, the podcast is basically a magazine or newspaper, you know, but just into a different format. It's like a news show, kind of, you know, except you don't see my face at all. But, I don't know, like, I'm glad that they were out there, you know, so shout out to you guys for going ahead and making this a very possible thing. Without you, I probably wouldn't have actually come up with the idea to do this. And thank you to the Aincrad podcast group for not only coming onto the show and being a guest, but for also going ahead and just kind of being around, you know, like, since you guys became a thing, that's what really sparked the idea of podcasts. And so thank you guys for going ahead and joining us. It's been an honor. And thank you to everybody that has interviewed with us. It's been amazing. Thank you everybody who joined in general. You know, everybody that's come onto the show, everybody that's been featured, everybody in general. Thank you for making this all very possible, and that you gave me and everybody else on the team. We all thank you for this new experience, this new and different and interesting experience. I don't think I'd be where I am right now without you guys or my friends. I wouldn't be where I am now, and knowing that is great because I have those things. I have my friends and I have you guys, you know, our listeners, the community in general. You know, you are all amazing, and I just want to say thank you. So thank you everybody for joining me for this little recollection of what's happened over the past 6 months. And yes, I do plan on doing another one of these in the 1 year anniversary, which will be a little bit longer. Hopefully, we still haven't fully planned it out yet, but hopefully it turns out well, as well as the other episodes to come in the future. So thank you everybody so much for joining me. If there's anything you want to say, go ahead and leave it in the comments below. If I missed something, go ahead and say that, you know, because I hate missing things a lot, believe it or not. So yeah, thank you all so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the last segment. Alright everybody, that brings us to the end of another episode, and the 6th episode of Kooloo-Limpah Tonight. And wow, I just can't believe that we're at episode 6, or that we finished episode 6 at least. It's been a really big journey, you know. We've gone a long ways from when we first started back in episode 1. We've changed quite a bit, you know, and I don't know, it's just been interesting. And so I just want to thank you guys for going along this long journey with us. But so I just like to say thank you, and I don't know, like, there's never really a good way for me to say thank you about these kinds of things, but for now I can go ahead and thank you guys by announcing a few things here and there. Well, the first thing being, we have our own P.O. box now, so if you guys want, you can go ahead and send us mail or other stuff, I guess, and, you know, we might feature on the show, but either way, we got that now, so it will be in the description below. Also be on the screen right now. So if you want to go and see where PO box is, look down there. Anyway, though, it should also be noted that you should be using your username when you go ahead and send whatever it is you're sending. Don't use your real name at all. Okay, we don't want that. Because again, your real name is private to us. So yeah, that's a thing. So if you want to write a letter, go do that, you know? Now, another thing that I have to announce, which is something that me and the team have been thinking about, and we've kind of decided to do it. We have made our own Amino, and for those who are on the team, no, it's not our personal Amino where we go ahead and like discuss everything. That's our secret Amino. But no, we now have a public Amino, so we have our own little community, so we can go ahead and share cool stuff. That it's not really like the stuff we're gonna like put on the show at all. That's all surprises. But no, it's gonna be mostly a place where fans of the show can go ahead and communicate with one another, you know, just kind of talk about it. And it's also a place where we can get some feedback from you guys, which we really need at times. And it's also a place where, well, we can go ahead and give each other a few ideas here and there. So I hope you guys will go ahead and enjoy it. It's not quite the prettiest looking Amino right now. To be honest, actually, some fan art over there would be pretty nice. And, you know, if we all really like it, then we will put it as, like, the icon and the background, stuff like that, you know? So, keep that in mind. Also, before I leave, as a bit of shame for me, I'm going to go ahead and say that you guys should go ahead and check out a brand new podcast that's popped up on Amino. It's the Assassin's Creed Amino podcast. They're up now. I actually just recently talked with them. They're pretty nice people, so definitely check out that podcast. It's pretty funny. They just released their second episode, I think. Pretty sure, yeah. So yeah, go ahead and check those guys out. And hey, if you watch their episode, comment them and tell them Tingle sent you. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I got everything down and out of the way. I hope you guys go ahead and stay in tune for episode 7. It will be different and more interesting than this episode was, hopefully. And I hope you found this episode interesting and nice. As a bit of a change, you know, like we've been having the same formula for a while, and now we got something a bit different, so I hope you guys like that. So, I hope you've all enjoyed this episode, and I will see you in the next one.